economic success. Attended one, and it felt like leveling up in a game. Suddenly, everything just clicked. Join now and watch your community thrive like a viral trend.
Let's go. Blessings, and good day, everyone. Welcome to Fulton County's weekly economic development seminar. You're here with your host, Lady Grace, or you call me Lady Lashley. Every week I'm here at 2 p.m. down at the Allen Street Library, where we host economic development seminars. Yeah, maybe we're going to turn that just a little bit. Yeah. All right, so today what we're going to do is part three of our economic development seminars. It is highlighting economic development strategies for low-income communities and breaking the barriers that we face. So we're going to have some innovative ideas. This is bridging the gap between understanding what our community needs as business owners, community members, and future leaders. This is what this actual part of the seminar is going to entail. Also, at the end of the seminar, we're going to get into some of the amazing, great content that we have coming up in the next week. You guys, get your pen and paper ready, because we're going to start to get our business plan together, our lucrative business plan. Hold on, my glasses are a little blurry. Lucrative business plan that basically gets you ready to have a successful business plan on top of getting a loan. That's the most important part. We want to make sure that your business plan reflects to the lender that you are ready to take on this loan. You have a robust plan and you ready to get it in. All you need is the funds. So let's get to it. I think that one can turn just a little bit, or maybe we can move it on the other side. Yeah, I think it will. So, okay, let's get to it. Now we're going to get started. Lifting up economic development strategies for low-income communities. This is for leaders. Okay. That's what you're going to do to me, baby? All right. I guess that's what we're going to do. Understanding the challenges. So that's what we're going to start to talk about. Understanding the challenges. Lack of access to capital, and that's what we're going to be getting into in the next couple of weeks. How do we access capital? Even if we don't have a lot, we can do it. All right, so lack of access to capital, limited access to loans, investment, grants, stifles entrepreneurs and business growth. And that's what we're going to show you next. We're going to give you some examples of places that you can go to seek loans, grants, investors, okay? It gets good. Now, skill gap. This is what we have. This is some of the challenges that we're facing, the skill gap. That's why I always promote education, guys. Point blank, period. No matter where you're at in life, if you educate yourself, it will do you some justice the next time around, or wherever else you have to apply it to. Now, skills gap. A mismatch between the skills needed for available jobs and skills possessed by local workforce can lead to high unemployment rate, and that's what we're trying to do, fill the gap. Infrastructure. These are some of the challenges. Infrastructure deficiency. Inadequate transportation, internet access, and other essential infrastructure hinders business development and connectivity. So when you think about your business, we don't want you to only think about the business that you want. We want you to think of 2 other businesses that you may can start that can help mitigate some of these challenges. Because we're trying to make leaders, business leaders, community leaders from this program. It's not just having a business plan. We want to get you ready to go and do business with the government, or how can I say, petition the government to bring certain things into your community, because you're a community leader and you know what your community needs. This is what we're here to do. All right, let me see if I turn the light just a little bit. Okay, great. So, infrastructure deficiencies, inadequate transportation, these are some of the things that we face. Internet access, etc. Limited educational opportunities. Under-resourced schools and limited access to higher education restricts upward mobility. So this is what we have to focus on. This is what we have to create as leaders. This is what we have to create. That's why we're here every Wednesday creating these free educational programs to build the gap between what we have not learned and what we have learned in high school, allegedly. Okay? Health disparities is another thing that we can combat. This is some of the challenges. Health issues often linked to poverty can impact workforce participation and productivity. And we have a major issue with homelessness. And I'm even seeing people coming straight from, high school into homelessness. People that were coming from the defect system into homelessness. It's not just a derelict thing, an alcoholic thing. It's an economy thing. It's an unprepared thing. That's what's actually going on. So, other challenges is systematic barriers. Historically, and ongoing discriminatory practices can limit access to housing, employment, and other vital resources. We already know. We see what's going on. We have seen what happened in the Black community. We see what's going on with other communities now that they're being targeted. The only way that we can actually mitigate these issues of systematic barriers if we create the systems. If you create the business that are welcoming to different nations and the people that are underserved. Strategies for sustainable changes. Investing. We want to talk about investing in education, workforce development. These are the things we want to talk to our politicians about, our leaders about as well. Promoting entrepreneurship and small business development. One thing that I saw that was really good, and they kind of stopped it when I was in high school. Matter of fact, coming out of high school, and my brother was going to high school about 10 years apart in Jersey. They made each high school focus on some type of industry, where one was technology, where one was heating and public technical, where one was arts. We had an art school, we had a business school, and this was high school. This was a high school, and this is what the community actually did in Newark. And I think it really helped people focus on the kids at a younger age because it was more about career development through the structure of the school. So again, investing in education, workforce, promoting entrepreneurship, small business development, improving infrastructure and accessibility is very important. Okay? Let me make sure you can hear me, guys, because before we was a little low. Fostering community engagement is empowerment. And we're going to talk about that next week in detail, okay? Before we get into our business plan, because our business plan is going to encompass us bringing the community in, networking, making friends, learning new things. Yes, that's all part of our business structure. Okay, also, strategic strategies for sustainable change include attracting investment and job creation. Not only do you want to create jobs, you want to create an attractable business or a market where you have other people that want to invest. And it don't always have to be big businesses. It can be another community. Okay? Measuring success and ensuring accountability. We have a whole presentation about that next week before we bridge over. That is a major deficiency in our community, in the Black community. Measuring success and accountability. This is something that I want to stress. Okay? Investing in education and workforce development. Strengthening local schools. Funding for resources, teachers, training, innovative programs can improve educational outcomes. Yes, these are some of the things that we want to petition some of our elected officials, the people who are coming in, want to be council members, trustees, whatever way that you call these people on the board. We want to make sure that their priorities are focused on this stuff. Resources, funding resources that we need, such as training, innovative improvement, educational programs. But if not, as well, let's not say if not, to include to that, we want to make sure that we do that. You guys are very talented people. You guys know things. You guys have come from industries that may have kicked you out, maybe you had to leave or whatever, but we have a whole group, a whole generation that needs education. From specialty people like you, me, whatever, and you have to create these things yourself. So, skill training and apprenticeship, exactly what I was just talking about. Providing targeted training programs that align with local industry needs can bridge the skill gap and create pathways for well-paying jobs. Again, we have people who want to open up let's say an AutoZone or mechanic shop. You can go to your local school and say, hey, y'all have career day, or y'all have where we can talk to some of your students about some of the career pathways such as this that y'all don't really focus in on. It'll be good for us to do this as leaders. You can do this. We will hope that the schools around you would allow you to bridge that gap for them. Again, apprenticeship, and that's the way you can get a pre-workforce for your industry. Get to know people, do community building, do mentorship. Have these young teenagers come and fix a car, and now they're ready to start working in your shop a couple of years from now. Those things, just planting the ideas in their head is amazing. Early childhood education, I promote that no matter what. I have my kids in preschool, early school development at the age of 2. It was from 6 months to preschool. It was so amazing because, 6 months, the kids was over there looking at ABCs and 1, 2, 3. Yes, you have to start them out early, and that's what I talked about with assets versus liability. Generational wealth building is not just you going out to make the money and trying to establish a business, but it's also about you teaching your youth the importance of wise spending, budgeting and planning, how to establish a business, do they want to get in your industry, what they can bridge into, how it will work with a regular career, because they may want to go down a career path, but you have a business that you have. These are the things you want to talk to your generations about. Early childhood education, very important. That'll help you with assets protection as well. Promoting entrepreneurship and small business development. This is what we're going to get into in the next week, where we're going to give you some more examples. But we want to start looking for or learning about microloans and grants. These are some of the things that we need to actually establish the businesses within our community. Providing access to capitals for aspiring entrepreneurs can help them launch and grow their businesses. These are things that you can do if you're in a situation where you can do scholarships for a particular industry. Or you can petition to see can maybe a business do a scholarship for you. Maybe you are opening a mechanic shop and you specialize in BMWs, and then you go to the BMW shop and say, hey, you want to do a scholarship? Things like that. You got to be innovative. Pull them in. Like, hey, you can get a new audience here. These type of things. All right? So microloans and grants are things that we're going to focus into. But promoting entrepreneurship and small business development, these are the key things that you want to start learning about now. Now, not later. Have a little book, start taking notes. Business incubators, okay? Offering mentorships, resources, networking opportunities can support the success of startups. Again, we can pop up shops, having small get-togethers like this where we're having workshops, where we're talking about focused topics. Not only are we learning, we can build relationship, network between people. This is what we have to do. That's why I stress for you guys to come in person. It's so good. I know I have people online that's watching. We're building an audience. Again, I want to say thank you so much for being with us today. Please hit the like button. Please, please, please. I appreciate you so we can get this out to the people who may need this. These people in high school never heard this a day in their life. People who've been out of high school never heard of these concepts put together like this. Please, hit the like button. Okay, so again, targeted support for minorities, men and women, and teenagers. You want to target particular industries with these entrepreneur promotion, addressing systematic barriers through tailored resources and programs can level the playing field. Like I said, target high school students, male high school students, female high school students for your industry, and then start from there. It don't only have to be about color or minority or nation. It can be about an age group that you need to pull into your industry. They don't know about a lot of this stuff. Hold on 1 second. They don't know a lot about this stuff until we introduce them. And if you don't homeschool, you don't have a lot of room to introduce these other concepts to your teenagers and your young adults. Okay? So improving infrastructure is something that we have to talk about deeply. We have to be able to participate in infrastructure and accessibility, and that is even dealing with our transportation and trucking industry. It's starting to turn AI. How are we going to deal with that? Maybe we want to start to push our young adults to open trucking businesses finding new ways of doing logistics and making things easier. So invest in transportation. Improved public transportation and infrastructure can connect residents and job, healthcare, and other essential services. This is building the gap. This is some of the ideas that we need to have and start thinking about at the beginning of our entrepreneurship. Where do I want my business to go? How do I want to contribute to my community? It's part of stewardship, okay? The biblical principles of success. Let's go. Expanding broad access, okay? Is always important. High-speed internet access is crucial for education, employment, and economic opportunities in the digital age. Remember, there's a lot of things that you can use online to learn, such as Udemy. Also, they have Khan Academy. They have a lot of platforms that offer small seminars for you. And now, YouTube even offers small seminars for you. Please check out our parent page, Legal Consultant Lashley, where we have set up courses through YouTube, in which it's free, and you can go. So they set up as a new feature on YouTube, guys. So go check it out. That runs a line adjacent with our playlist. And those all highlight doing your due diligence in real estate. If you are an alternative real estate investor and you're into foreclosure, deed, share of sales, tax lien sales, we have it all for you on our sister page again. Now, make sure you use these platforms good, because this is part of your infrastructure as well. So our next thing that we want to focus on is not only the internet and things in a hyper-use, like I say, galaxy, whatever they want to call it, a metaverse. What do you have right here in your universe? Right now, we want to develop affordable housing. This is something very important. You can do this by being a business owner. Maybe, I know that's not your first go-to because that's not what your business is, but remember, gold in real estate is God's prosperity. So if you're looking to have assets that don't change with the wind, I advise you to get some gold and also get some real estate. Let's go. So our goal should be to develop affordable housing, help to rebalance our economy. Obviously, you see inflation is through the roof and it is not matching our pay rate, but I'll move forward. Let's not talk about that, okay? Fostering community engagement and empowerment is something very important. Community-led incentive, this is what we're doing right now. Investing in projects that are designed and implemented by the community members, ensuring that solutions are tailored to local needs. Right there. Building social capital. Fostering community engagement through building social capital. How you do that? Fostering strong community networks and relationships can create support systems and enhance economic opportunity. When you have a support system, maybe you don't have it, but you can have someone who wants to invest in you. They see the beauty of what you can do. They see the smarts. They see they're like, it's amazing. I will fund you. Just building those social connections can build social capital. So this is how we're fostering growth in our community in low-income housing. Low-income communities, middle class. This is why we're talking about this. So I'm just giving you back our objective of the things that I'm sharing. But this is how we build strategic growth plans in our community by focusing on some of these things. Promoting financial literacy like we're doing now, providing access to financial education can empower individuals to make informed decisions about their finances. That's what we're here for. We want you to make informed decisions. There's no more just starting a business, not getting a mission statement on my, I got a business, a LLC. No. We need leaders. We need people who do their due diligence. We need people who can educate in detail, not shuck and jive and lie just to get through. No. If they can't answer the question, you better ask more questions. Never stop. Okay, if they don't answer the question, if anybody who's teaching you something is uncomfortable answering questions, question their credibility. I'm just being honest. So again, fostering community engagement and empowerment that is community-led incentive, building social capital, promoting financial literacy literacy. Providing access to financial education can empower individuals to make informed decisions. And that's what I want you to do. I need you to make informed decisions. You can't waste any more money. We don't have time for that, okay? We don't have time for it. Point blank period. Let's go. Improving infrastructure. Again, we're just focusing on some of the things that I think you guys should pay attention to when it comes to community building and leadership focused sectors. And that's investment in transportation, expanding broad access, developing to the internet, and developing affordable housing, okay? I do think so. And I'm not really into data centers, but again, myself, if you have properties, I have properties, I have land, and I'm looking to use some of those tax credits that you receive from having solar panels or, converting clean energy, bad energy to clean energy. I know we're in a different presidency and he's trying to do away with that, but keep your fingers crossed. Those were tax credits and things that we can do as people who have land, and that helps us get into our electricity companies sector, because that's hard for the average person too, as well as expand our clean energy sector. So just when I say broad internet access, is not always data centers, because those are a little sketchy, but you know what I'm trying to say. Now, fostering community engagement and empowerment, community-led incentives. Okay, hold on one second, did it go again? Okay, attracting investments and job creation. Tax incentive and enterprise zone, offering incentives to business that local and create jobs in low-income areas can stimulate economic growth. So again, tax incentive, enterprise zones, that is, what I just explained to you, the tax incentive for solar panels, for clean energy, these are the things you want to look for. Opportunity zones, that's what, it's probably another name for enterprise zone. So keep those things in mind when you're coming up with your business plan. Is this the things that I want to focus on? Some tax incentive-based business or some community-based building business, like as we talk about opportunity zones, or they call it enterprise zones, okay? Public-private partnership is something that you want to pay attention to and try to build. Collab with private sector partners can leverage resources and expertise to drive economic development. You want to talk to someone who is a leader in the industry. You want to learn. Don't always come in and say, I know what I'm doing, I want to do it. No, it don't always work like that. You want to learn from someone who is already in there, maybe someone in the private sector, and see how they ran their business, how they developed it, and maybe you can leverage some resources from them. And as I say, public is going to the Small Business Administration, going to all of the seminars that they have available for you guys, okay? The next thing we want to do is focus on sustainable industries, attracting industries that offer living wages, okay, and long-term growth potential, ensuring lasting economic growth. We want to introduce things that actually allow people to have living wages. Again, I'm into real estate. You get that going, living wages. We're into investment. You get that going, investment in gold, stocks, things like that. But you want to focus on things that's going to produce living wages, okay? I know a lot of us have started businesses, and I can't say that, if you open a soap business or a candle business is not going to do well or create living wages, but you also want to build on that and expand, okay? Does that make sense? Now, in this particular section, we're just coming to our conclusion, but this is something you're going to hear me talk about between this week and next week, which is so important. Please. Measuring success and ensuring accountability. This is something that you want to have at the frontal lobe of your brain when you're actually constructing your business plan. Because you're going to be measuring your success, going back to see if this plan worked, maybe I can adjust this, and you want to be accountable for everything you do and you don't do. you're going to be at the end, because either your business is going to float or it's going to sink based on what you do and don't do. So you want to be accountable. We're starting that now, okay? Job creation and wage growth, ensuring accountability, measuring the number of job creation and increasing in average wages, increase in average wages that is connected to your industry, that is effectively helping the community. Is what you're bringing to the community effectively helping the community? Is it actually reducing poverty? Tracking changes in poverty rates, providing a broad indicator of the overall impact of economic development at first. These are the things that we want to pay attention to. When you go to your trustees, your elder woman, your board members, these are the things you're going to have in hand, like, hey, we have to bring this to our community. We have to teach this to our kids, or we're missing this, or this is the issue. So we have to focus on poverty reduction and tracking it. Educational attainment. We want to pay attention to what is the graduation rates in our area, monitoring graduation rates, college enrollment, and other educational outcomes, demonstrating the success of educational focused programs. Obviously, we have a little issue in America. That's why I focus on homeschooling, guys. Never hesitate to homeschool. You can expand what your kids learn if you homeschool. Never just depend on the government. So we want to track that. And I don't think that we're doing too good on a national level, but locally we have different statistics, so you want to pay attention to that. And that also helps you determine what area you want to live in, what area you want to invest in, all that type of stuff. Okay? So measuring success and accountability moves on into measuring business growth. Tracking the number of new businesses created in your area. And that's going to go in when we talk about accountability and measuring success within our business plan. But right now, we're as a community member, and what we're looking at in a community is tracking the number of businesses. You can see where businesses is being shut down. You can see where there's a need in your particular area. Maybe you need a grocery store. These type of things, okay? Tracking the number of businesses created and growth of existing business indicates success in entrepreneurship. Incentives. Community well-being. How good is your community doing? Measuring indicators such as crime rates, health outcomes, housing and affordability provides a holistic assessment of community well-being. This is the things you want to look at as an entrepreneur and a leader, because what we're trying to do is create a sustainable community. So in conclusion of this particular one, and we're going to be moving on, we're only halfway there today. Economic development for low-income communities is not just a moral imperative, it's an economic necessity. By investing in education, entrepreneurship, infrastructure, community empowerment, we can unlock the potential of these areas and create more prosperous and equitable society for us all. It requires a long-term commitment, collaborative partnership, and focus on data-driven decision-making. By working together, we can build a stronger, more vibrant community that offers opportunity for all the residents to thrive, okay? So that is what we want to do. Now we're going to move on into our next part of this, where we're going to get into building bridges, not barriers, strategies for sustainable change in low-income communities. It's going to kind of sound a little bit adjacent, but I added a little bit more to it so we guys can kind of hit it on the head. If you like what I'm doing today, if you like the information I'm sharing, please hit the like button. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here with Lady Lashley, or you can call me Miss Grace. Okay? So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. You can see it on. There it go. All right. Building bridges, not barriers. Strategies for sustainable changes in low-income communities. We're going to hit these topics. Community-led development, the foundations of sustainability, kind of what we talked about. Investing in education and skill development, opening doors to opportunity, promoting economic empowerment, building strong foundations, strengthening healthcare access and well-being, and holistic approaches. This is what we need in our community. This is literally what we need, and business owners are going to be the ones that bring this to the forefront. Why infrastructure accessibility matters and fostering collaborative and partnership. Again, this is some of the things that we talked about in the first half of the video, and but we're going to emphasize on a little bit more. Let's go. Community-led development. The foundations of sustainability. Sustainable change starts from within. Top-down approach often fails because they don't address the specified need and priorities of the community. That's from the boss down type pyramid. It don't work. Community-led development empower residents to identify challenges, define solutions, and actively participate in implementing them. This process forces a sense of ownership, accountability, resilience, and crucial for long-term success. Key, listening sessions and focus groups. This is community-led development, the foundations of sustainable. This is some of the things that we should look to create. Listening section and focus groups, regular open forums to understand residents' perspective and concerns. Make sure you go into your local council meetings. Make sure that you're going to express yourself and also listen. Community survey, collect data on needs, assets, and priorities to inform decision making. If you see that there's an issue in your neighborhood, like for instance, I was watching a town in the south side of Chicago. They had dog issues. We have cat issues over here, but just stray cat, stray dog. These are some of the things where you can start a petition, a survey, and ask neighbors, are we having this issue? Do you think we need a dog catcher in our town? Can we go petition this type of stuff? Because this is a health problem. This is dangerous. Again, community surveys work. Utilize them. You can do them yourself. You can start a petition online, get people to interact, and take it to your local council member. Residents leadership training, such as what we're doing here. Equip community members with skills to lead, incentives, advocate for their need, and manage projects. That's what we're doing right now. And you can do the same thing. Collaborative decision making. Ensure residents have a voice in all phases of development process, from planning to evaluation, the outcome. If you have people who have leadership styles within your community that opt to make decisions without you, you may not want to vote for them again the next time around. Just want to let you know. You want to look for people who want to collaborate with the community, because the community knows what they need. Usually if the leader is just going to make the decisions, it's going to be based on what they need and whatever money is being sold into their pockets. We're just being honest. Okay? Incentive and education and skill development, opening doors for opportunity. Again, I talked about early childhood development, expanding access to affordable and equitable child care and preschool programs. This is what you have to talk to your leaders about. Or you create it and you petition the government to give you grants for it. Tutoring and mentorship, we talked about the bridging the gap between college students and technical jobs and industry. If you're in the industry, tutor, mentor, support students with academic challenge, and be a role model. Vocational training and apprenticeship, exactly what we were talking about, where you spend a little bit more. Offering practical skill training in high demand industry. If you know it's a high demand industry and it's not being catered to in your area, you want to introduce it to the high school students there, people who don't know about it. Financial literacy program, we have to start young. Start when they're 5, give them 5 cents and give them a chore. Start there. Empower residents to manage their finance, building assets, and achieving financial stability. And that's why we're doing this as well, because it's not only for people who want to start businesses, but it's people who need to know how to budget and save. That's why you're part of the Secure Your Energy page, because it's about securing your energy, looking at the market and evaluating it based on your situation. Digital literacy training. There's a lot online, y'all. Bridging the digital divide by providing access to technology and training in essential digital skills. You want to make sure, again, that the elderly and young people can use technology know the platforms that is good for them, for resources or things that they need. Again, digital literacy, you can do this. And you can find sometimes government grants that will give you just to do this, just to go out and teach people. Promote economic empowerment, build a stronger foundation. The keys to that continue. Job creation incentive. Again, we're emphasizing some of the things we said, but we're putting more beef to it. Attracting businesses to the community and supporting the growth of local businesses. That's what job creation incentive is. Microloan program. These are the things that you want to look for and make sure that they have available in your area. Providing access to capital for entrepreneurs and small businesses. And we'll be giving you some examples next week. Corporative development. Support the formation of work-owned cooperative that shares profit and decision-making power. So if you're in a corporate industry, it would be more, how can I say, lucrative for you if they had more profit-sharing opportunities, decision-making opportunities for you as a worker as well. Again, you want an environment, because that's the environment you want to create as a business owner. So if you're working for anyone, that's a more successful route of having a business where you have collective unity, collective idea, creativity, and it's not just an autocratic type of environment. Does that make sense? Cooperative development. Okay, living wages campaign. Advocate for policies that ensure workers are paid fair living wage. Just because it doesn't, how can I say, affect you right now, just like, okay, waiters, they need a living wage, or people who may work at grocery stores. You're like, well, I don't work there and I'm not a waiter, but guess what? If these people decide to leave and don't be there, this service area will be affected and you'll be affected. That's why we have to not think of this don't affect me, because some way, somehow, it will. So we always should petition for living wages for each and every sector and industry. Point blank, period. We got to catch up to the inflation. Okay? Community land trust. This is something also that we teach. We have a trust seminar where we teach you about the importance of learning action act. It's called access. Okay, it's called access protection, but it also helps you transfer your assets without having to do it in the public. It makes it more easy, and also you can set incentives through trust transfer to your family or wherever asset is going to them. When I say incentives, you're going to set up the do's and don't for the transfer to happen. But if you want to know a little bit more about that, we do have a trust seminar available for you on our website, thebuybackteam.edu.com. Let's go. All right, let's go. We're halfway through. I want to say thank you for being here. We have about 15 more minutes of the seminar. I'm going to move through steadily. So if you guys need the playback or put the caption at the bottom, please do so. Now, strengthening healthcare access. This is something that we have to really focus on. Poverty equals death, okay? So these are some of the things that we can help bring to our community, like mobile healthcare clinic, providing healthcare services in underserved area. You don't have to be a nurse or a doctor, but maybe you have a van. Maybe you know somebody want to get out the industry of where they're at in a hospital, and you can team up with them. Okay. Community health workers offering cultural sensitive outreach and education on health issues. This is what I do. We do volunteer. I haven't did none in the last year or two, blood pressure, but maybe we'll do it for this holiday. Go back down to the Atlanta Convention Center. Forgot what that is, the BMW Center, and they did like a holiday blood pressure drive and things. So these are the things you want to do if you're in the healthcare industry. Again, food pantry, community gardens. That's what we'll be doing in the next hour, where we'll be giving food away in Atlanta. If you don't know, we do give food away every Wednesday at 3:30 down in the Atlanta area on our sister channel, Miss Grace Levi, where we do more than just talk about community issues and political issues. We're out there putting the pedal to the metal. So again, food pantry and community gardens increase access to health and food. These are some of the holistic approaches that you want to think about as a business owner and a community leader. Safe streets and park. Invest in public safety, green spaces to promote physical activity and community cohesion. Neighborhood watch. Pay attention to what's going on. It starts with you. Mental health services. Ensure access to affordable and culturally appropriate mental health care and understand what mental health is. This is some of the things that are directly connected to our homeless population where they're trying to bridge those two in together. And you want to understand how that would affect you, your family, your community. Again, why is infrastructure and accessibility important? Why does it matter? Economic opportunities is enhanced when we focus on infrastructure and accessibility. Poor infrastructure limit access to job, education, and healthcare, particularly for low-income residents. Businesses struggle to thrive when transportation is ineffective and logistically challenging, moving things about. We want to focus on sustainability. We want to focus on aging structures often lead to environmental degeneration. Contributing to contributing to pollution and resource deprivation. Now, that's why we want to buy the buildings that are condemned, not condemned before they're condemned. We want to buy the houses that are abandoned before they get to a point that they're environmental hazard and they increase the crime and the squatting. Social equity, accessibility to barriers that is affecting our vulnerable population, including elderly, people with disabilities, and families with young children. These are some of the things that you can focus on within your business. If you're open, if you have an apartment building, maybe you want to make it for people who are coming out of they aged out of diapers and they need to learn how to live, and maybe you want to offer a place for them, a grooming place for a year while they bridge into society. I'm always thinking of something, but these are things that you can do, okay? So you're going to be creating opportunities to mitigate these barriers that many of us are facing, okay? So again, we want to focus on public health through reliable water systems. Effective waste management and safe transportation networks are essential for public health and preventing the spread of disease. Is this some of the things that we think about as business owners and community leaders, guys? Some of the things, I know y'all like, no, why should bring this up? Because these are things that we don't think about, and then when it hits in caboodle, we don't even know where to start. We have to create these programs, or we have to petition our government to do it properly. Does that make sense? Transportation is very important. Public transit expansion. We don't only need Uber and Lyft. You can start your own public transportation company. Streets, designing, completion, infrastructure, and accessibility. You want to petition for some of these contract jobs that they have available to help build your community, fill the potholes, pave the ground. If you're a construction company that does that, you want to go put a bid in for that. These are some of infrastructure ideas that if you're a business owner, you want to do business with the government, help your community out. Start thinking about smart mobile solution. Explore innovative transportation technologies such as ride-share services, like I said, electric vehicle charging station, possibly. Okay, guys, because you know electric video cars are doing too good, but we're going to mind our business, okay? Okay, and real-time traffic management systems to optimize traffic flow and reduce congestion. And there's some places like in rural areas that need more traffic lights, that need more people to work in the area of making the plans for the city. So if we don't have these ideas in our head and teaching our kids like, hey, you know, you can actually help the city design by being an engineer, or you can actually work for code enforcement, things like that. These are the things that we want to how can I say, incentivize and bring forth in front of our kids so they can know that they have these opportunities. So again, other infrastructure and why these accessibilities matter. Utilities, these are things that we want to focus on in our community. Water and sewage system, broadband access, and things that are energy efficient. These, if your industry can focus on anything dealing with the water system, maybe you make a cleaning water tester. I don't know. But these are the things that you want to think about. Broadband access. Maybe you have, you want to open a place where it offers Wi-Fi to college students and they can eat and it's something off of campus. They want to try new places, not just for food. Maybe they can do a few activities. Maybe, it'll be, how can I say, boys and girls club for college students, for high school students. Be innovative, okay? Because these are all things that can harbor people together, networking, and also build incentive for your community. All right, so ADA compliance, okay. Ensure all public places, let's get in a little bit detailed about other things. Let's skip that one. Another reason why infrastructure and accessibility matter. Green structure, infrastructure. We need more parks and green space, created and maintaining parks, green space, and urban forests to improve air quality, reduce urban heat, island effect, okay, and provide recreational opportunities for residents. We want to make sure we have parks in our area, that we're maintaining the parks. Not a lot of parks, but parks, for our kids. Some places, when I moved into the area I was in Georgia, they didn't have a lot of parks. Now they have 2-3 parks now, I think. One big walking park now. But before, you couldn't even find anything. There was 1 or 2 playgrounds you can go to. And that brings community. That allows you to have public outings together. So infrastructure matter. These are the things that you want to bring to the leaders in your community, the public officials. This is going to bring more revenue and cultivate your community. Okay? Now we're kind of breaking it down. We're getting down to our last few. I want to say thank you for being here again. This is Community Development Seminar for Leaders, where today, hold on a second, we focused on strategies to help uplift economic development in lower income communities. So if you didn't understand what we were talking about, these were strategic ideas to help develop in low income communities. Okay, so we kind of bridging the gap. We understood what's going on in our home life, finances, things like that. Now we're like, what's going on in our community? How can I bridge that gap being an entrepreneur or a leader? This is week 3. Does that make sense? So again, why infrastructure and accessibility matter? The path forward. Strategic planning, developing comprehensive infrastructure plans that prioritize investment based on community needs for long-term sustainability is the goal. Community engagement is also the goal, engaging residents in planning process to ensure that their voices are heard and that the project reflects the priorities of the people. And the only way that's going to reflect the priorities of the people is because you are the people. You have to go out there. You know what's going on. You need to talk to your community leaders. Make sure that they are on the same wavelength as you, because 9 out of 10 you vote people in, then you find out that they didn't even care about nothing you cared about. Let's focus in on that. Innovative funding models. Exploring innovative funding models such as public-private relationship. You're building public-private relationship as a community leader and an entrepreneur, and also you're making sure that the private sector is funding infrastructure in the public sector. Okay, where you go in the banks and asking them what they're doing for your community, because you have over 1,000 members in this community and you don't offer any incentive. Leverage private capital to help accelerate project delivery, just like I told you, just like we just gave you an example. Technology and innovativeness. You want to embrace technology and being innovative and having innovative solutions to promote the efficiency and effectiveness of infrastructure projects, okay? So again, incorporating technology into your branding, your business, into your strategic way of thinking, asking questions is very important. Data-driven decisions, and that's going to basically bridge us into next week where we're going to be talking about accountability and credibility and start to get into our business planning. So data-driven decision-making, using data analysts to inform decision-making and tracking progress towards infrastructure and accessible goals. What does that mean? Going back, seeing did the plan work, analyzing it, revamping it, and coming back and trying to do it again better. Did you meet the goal? Okay? So, fostering collaboration and partnership is a collective effort. Sustainable changes require a collaborative approach, building strong partnerships between community organizations, government agencies, businesses, and philanthropists, foundations, maximizing resources and creating a more comprehensive and impactful response to the community needs. It has to be feng shui together. I know that was a mouthful, but we have to build the bridge between the community organization, the government agencies, businesses, philanthropists, and healthcare providers, so we can help enhance and build on the infrastructure in the middle class and lower income communities. Okay? So in conclusion, key strategies is 1, community coalitions. And y'all know I like that word, coalition, baby. From collaborative groups to addressing specific information or issues and developing joint strategies, coalitions. Public-private partnership, leveraging the resources and expertise of both the public and private sector. Both. Community members, you are smart, you are intelligent. You probably can come up with a better plan than someone in the private sector could, or in our government. Never underestimate yourself, okay? That's why we want you to go to the meetings, go to these community leaders and ask the right questions. Bring the facts, like according to my analysis, this is what's going on. We're not doing good here. This is my plan. You want to help me fund it? Okay, build the bridges, put the pressure on them, baby. Cross-sector collaboration, bringing together stakeholders from different sectors such as education, healthcare, and business. Again, education and business. You being the business owner, you can go to the school and say, hey, I want some mentor. Because I know that your school doesn't focus on this, or the industry is not focused on this. We need more engineers, doctors, nurses, plumbers. You don't have this. Can I come? Can we do a career day once a year? You know? So, collaborating between sectors and data sharing and evaluation. Again, we have to track the process, identifying challenges, and refining strategies based on the data and feedback. So important. Accountability equals credibility. Accountability equals credibility. Does that make sense? So, I think we did pretty good. We finished right on time, guys. I do want to say thank you so much for being here with Lady Lashley, also known as Miss Grace. You can catch us on our platform on YouTube, which is Lady Lashley Legal Real Estate Consultant. A little long-winded, but that's fine. Here on Secure Your Energy. Or thank you for being with us on Facebook today. In our Facebook group, where we share this exclusively. We just started. Please hit the like button. It's for you. And we're just going to take it from there. So I want to say thank you again for being with us. We hope to see you on our next live, where we'll be downtown Atlanta doing our food giveaway.